Hey guys, Justin here with another attempt of driving a road course. I'm about a second and a half-ish off, which isn't the worst, so it's good to get lines, but just know that you can definitely go faster than me. Alright, let's take a look at that. So I'm just going to be doing it inside of the iRacing replay here just because it's a road course and there's a lot to go over. So I'll slow down when it's applicable. So this is coming up to the first lap, hot lap. Road courses almost never are like that, where it's second lap. So make sure, now forgive me for not knowing any of the turns names, but this corner, you want to make sure to set up as wide as possible here so that you don't have any speed issues coming to the line. So you see, I kind of missed the apex there, and I'm just getting into second and third pretty early. Just trying to make sure that my wheels stay straight. You see I struggle there. I actually lost a few hundreds because of this. Not a huge deal, but as long as you can get kind of the fourth gear before the braking zone, it's neither here nor there. Okay, braking point for turn one. Depends on your speed. If you have a lot of speed coming to the line, you want to brake before the 700. Like halfway between the 800 and 700. And then the thing about braking in the ARCA car is you really want to get to about 80% brake before the brakes lock up and just hold it there. You don't want to lock up, but you don't want to under brake. So that 80% lock is really good. So you see that I am pushing my engine braking. This is risky because if you start turning with that little wheel stutter, if you start turning there, it's going to spin you out. So luckily you saw that right as that subsided, I was able to turn it off of first. So I was getting like the maximum engine braking without having to deal with the consequences, so that was pretty lucky there. So you want to turn in with first gear, and you want to pretty much hit. See, I kind of even missed this a little, so I had to delay my turn in just a tiny bit because of that downshift, but I was still able to almost hit the curb. You want to get just right clipping the curb, but this was fine too. So we enter, and we just stay along this curb the entire time. And what I'm doing here is I'm just keeping it in first, kind of just posting half throttle, and then just aiming from one curb to the next. So you see that I'm just transitioning from one curb to the next, and then again, as straight as I can, stay in first. Don't go to second; it's not worth it. One curb to the next, and then about halfway. So the perfect world is that you go straight from curb to curb, and then to the third curb, but you don't reach the third curb until halfway. And if you can get right at halfway at the third curb, you can immediately start your turn into the next corner. If you turn in any later than halfway through this curb right here, then you're gonna miss apex here. Okay? So you can get to this curb early, but do not get to this curb late. This was about the limit. Halfway through the curb, make that, shift to the second gear, and now here's one of the more interesting parts of the lap. There's a chicane here. The chicane is a suggestion more than it's anything else. So I just drive straight through one, straight through the other, almost full throttle. If I had more balls, I probably could have gone full throttle through both, but I didn't. We'll take a look at what that looks like on Chopper. So you see, don't go all the way out to this last curb, okay? So, infield section. Curb to curb to curb to curb. But this last right-hand curb, do not go all the way out to this curb here because you need to set up for this right here. See how I'm taking this like straight? If you went straight to the curb off of this right here, then you wouldn't be able to take this as straight as this. And you see, you just drive through the chicane. Okay? Drive through. Almost full throttle. Use all the runoff you can. You're fine. Okay? Now here's one of the more annoying parts is this braking zone here. I brake about, once again, right after the 700 to 6, between 700 and 600. Now the timing line for the lap, if you're using your relative, the timing line is after your braking zone, so don't fall into that trap because I definitely fell into it a couple times. Make sure that you are braking far before this curb even starts. I actually just use like this distance from the curb as my braking point as opposed to doing 700 or 600, but do it like right after 700. Again, maximum engine braking. And you see that I actually overslowed a little bit here, so I lost a bit of time. I could have done a little bit closer, but this was like crazy braking I was getting with how much without locking. But anyways, clip the curb there. A little bit too much curb, so I got a little loose, but that was a good thing because you want to set up at least in the middle of the track for this right here. The farther left that you are, the better, but don't sacrifice speed for it. Okay, so I'm using a little brake to hook this curb. Just take as much of these curbs as you can. The second curb might feel like a brake, but you don't. You can just partial throttle through it, okay? Just take what the car can give you here in terms of brake. I was basically just driving at the edge of grip here while getting early turn-ins into both these curbs. This is a very deceiving corner. You think that you can kind of turn in later than you think, but no, brake really early relatively and get as early of a turn as possible because this curb widens out, or this corner widens out. This isn't like a 180-degree corner, not a hairpin. So if we take this corner early, we can get back on the throttle really early. And that'll carry throughout this whole sequence right here. Almost full, like once you go to third, I go to third early, you go to half throttle and just roll the corner, then kind of gas it up off the corner. Here's another deceptive part of the track. I am on the brake before the 300 here. If you drive to the 300, you are going to have a whale of a time slowing the car down. So I'm actually on the brake before I even get up to the wall, and I'm getting my engine braking. And again, I might have overslowed a tad, but I'm rewarded for that because I can get to the right of this now. Because this corner right here is a very deceptive late apex. If you are riding this curb all the way through here, you're going to basically go off track every single time if you are lined up on the left side of the lane here. The farther right you are, the better. It's a little blind though, so you got to get kind of used to that turn in timer. So I got a good turn in here, almost gotten off track, but we'll take it. And then from there on, I'm just driving in second and third gear at the low revs. Very loose off this corner. This transition right here to there, that is rough. Do not go full throttle until you have gone over that transition. And then so finish line. All right, let's watch that whole last sequence once again on Chopper. So we get back onto the oval. We widen this corner out. We're right before the oval here. Hold it in third gear. Drive it up here. Brake before we even get to the wall. Before we get to the 300. Get a little bit of that curb. Get right immediately. And then brake and make sure to hit that late apex. See how much room we've allowed ourselves now. And now we're able to get a favorable angle. A lot of momentum carried all the way through here. Second and third gear. do not go full throttle until you're pretty much on the straight. There's definitely some more time to gain here. I think I could be a little more aggressive in a couple of the braking zones. I think I could be a little bit better on throttle control, but this is a good baseline for you guys to go off of for the race and qualifying. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.